Hello and welcome to the Legacy Crusaders YouTube channel. This is Benji, and today I'm joined by Jaeger, and we are playing Infernoid Azamina. So the Azamina engine has come out, and we're throwing our noise in there. And as a avid Noid player, I'm very excited to bring someone on who knows what they're doing with the deck and can tell us what to do through a few games on Yugioh Pro. My goal is to ask questions that the audience might have to help us go through the games we're going to play. So we're going to play a few games, but we'll start off with a quick card by card. And then at the end, if anything doesn't come up in our match, we will discuss it at the end.
Me being knowledgeable of this is honestly, I think it's one of the hardest decks to build in the game. And you just have to test, and hope that it works out. There is no right way to play Noids. I just think there's just a lot of really good cards in this deck, and you just try and make it work.
Seems to be what happens. So they keep bringing out new good cards, and because our cards are still bricked as per usual, all we can really do is try and make the ones we have playable.
They're really good cards. It's one of the few archetypes where the best cards, you want to not see them in your opening hand. It's very weird.
Yeah, they're definitely good to pull later and not early. All right, so do a quick card by card, and we'll discuss the choices made in your build. So just in case anyone's looking or doesn't know what the cards are, we'll just try and make you familiar with them. We're on 2 Infernoid Inoku, 2 copies of Infernoid Deviati, 1 Snake Eyes Flamberge Dragon, 1 copy of Snake Eyes Diabellstar, 1 Infernoid Sightsmoss, 3 copies of Diabellstar the Black Witch, 1 Infernoid Sajet, 2 copies of the Fiendsmith Engraver, 1 copy of Infernoid Petrula, 1 copy of Lacrima the Crimson Tears, 3 copies of Molcharmi Hualos, 1 Infernoid Harmadic, 3 copies of Ash Blossom, 1 Antra, 1 Snake Eye Oak, 1 Snake Eye Ash, 1 Snake Eye Poplar, 3 Infernoid Decatron, 1 Fabled Glory, and 3 Droll and Lockbird of the monsters. Instant Fusion, 1 for 1, 3 Bonfires, 1 original Sinful Spoil Snake Eye, 1 copy of the Hollowed Azamina, 1 copy of Fiendsmith's Track, 1 Called by the Grave, 3 copies of Forbidden Droplet, 2 copies of Book of Eclipse, 3 copies of Wanted Seeker of Sinful Spoils, 3 copies of Deception of the Sinful Spoils, 2 copies of Void Vanishment, 1 copy of Divine Temple of the Snake Eye, 3 copies of Infinite Impermanence, 1 copy of Void Feast. In the extra, we're on 1 Desiree. I don't know how you pronounce it nowadays.
Desiree?
Yeah. 1 Desiree, 1 Azamina Mu Rick. I don't know. All right.
Arcilago.
One more time.
Mu Arcilago, if that's how I call it.
That's as good as anything. Anyone who thinks I know how to pronounce these cards, you just say them with confidence, and then it'll become the way it's said.
There we go.
All right. 1 Azamina Ilia Sylvia, 1 Infernoid Evil, 1 Infernoid Flood, 1 Salamangreat Raging Phoenix, 1 World Ocean Dragons Zealantis, 1 Promethean Princess Bestower of Flames, 1 SP Little Knight, 1 Feastsmith Sequence, 1 Moon of the Closed Heaven, 1 Muckraker from the Underworld, 1 copy of IP Masquerena, 1 Fiendsmith Requiem, 1 Relinquished Anima, and in the side we're on 3 Perulia, 1 Feather Duster, 1 Talents, 3 Thrust, 2 Cosmic Cyclone, 3 Evenly Matched, 1 Different Dimension Ground, and 1 Deed Barrier. So as there isn't really like a standard list to compare to, you want to just run through some of the decisions made and like the choices of what's in the main deck and some of the ratios.
Sure. So I'm just going to say flat out, this is not a budget deck. There are so many currently expensive cards in there, especially like Fool Us and Perulias. Deception 2, like the whole, what's it called? Azamina package is currently a bit expensive. There are ways to play around it, and for example, Fool Loss is very interchangeable with other stuff. Don't have them.
I try not to make assumptions about what people will be able to get. We just show them how to play the deck to the best of our ability, and they have to make adjustments based on their wallets or other things they might want to play anyway.
For sure.
But they also might just play online, so you never really know how detailed to be regarding that. So I try not to worry about that. If they have questions, they can ask in the comments.
And the nice thing is, again, because there is no right way to play this deck, I'm still testing it out. A week ago, I was on all 6 Molcharmies in the main, realized that I kept drawing into too many of them going first, which felt dead. So there is a lot of flexibility. I think the main thing to remember with Noids, in my eyes, playing too many hand traps in the build hurts. I feel like you still need to keep some hand resources. There's a lot of discards or costs that you need to use your hand for. So use too many hand traps is something that I try and caution myself with. And this deck is incredibly powerful at breaking boards. So I really like Droplets, Book of Eclipse, Imperm, and Droll just to lessen the full potential of your opponent's full board. The other thing that's really nice too is there are lines where you can Droll yourself under Mulch Army and still be able to combo quite heavily. So it's a very nice addition, I'd say, or potential that this deck brings. There are some hands where you do have to play into full loss and you give them a lot of draws. But the nice thing is this deck can also in return put up boards with anywhere between 6, I believe 11 disruptions, if I remember correctly.
It's like a solid number. And even when people do play into Fualo, so you give them enough cards, they're still drawing like duplicates. So often, even if you give them like 15 cards, that's 8 cards when they're all like the same card.
And just for example, this deck can play through a lot of disruption too. Was at a local last week playing against Tempai where Fulos was dropped. And I proceeded to get Ash Blossomed, Impermed, Impulsed, and Bestial Magnum, and was still able to decay through that. Yep, go ahead.
I was just going to say, like, I like the amount of hand traps in a sense, like the Fualos and like the Drolls. Like, my locals currently, I have like a bunch of Mermail players, and they're all like hand looping you. So, like, without Fualos or like Droll, like, you just lose that game automatically. So, like, it's just good. There's a decent amount of cards to draw into off with Fualos and or big stops. So, I just to ask you about some
Dark Worlds, the better hand ripping.
Yeah, I hear you. All right. I was going to ask you about some ratios because there are reasons to do one thing or another. We were talking about before we like started recording, you're on 2 Eclipse at the moment and 2 Vanishment. I know you wanted to fit in the 3rd Eclipse or struggling like what to cut, but thoughts on like 2 Vanishment versus like 3 Vanishment or like 1 Vanishment?
So Vanishment on its own, 3 disruption that plays through Full Loss. So I think it's very powerful. It is searchable, but not every hand leads to it. And that's why I kind of like the 2nd Vanishment. The combo that searches it is either summoning Evil, which is, it's a very good card, but its whole purpose is pretty much to search Vanishment, to then get to Feast, to then get to Disruptions. Or if you're not summoning Evil, you're playing Desiree instead, which is, again, just another crazy good form disruption. I'm of the line where it's nice to see sometimes, but not all the time. I know there's a meme around that, but for Vanishment, I think it's a healthy balance to keep at 2, where you can just end on it. You can make the Desiree and then just drop down Void Vanishment, and it is very painful for your opponent to play through that.
I think that kind of covers my questions regarding like ratios. I'm sure everyone has different opinions of what the appropriate amount of Infernoids to play is. This looks like you have like the minimum I would play to justify playing the deck. Like if you play too few, like you might as well not play an Infernoid deck at all. The only thing like I would personally change is the Entra for another deck at Petrula. But that's just because I value the resolving my feast for at least 3 monsters every time. And sometimes you like draw the Sajet or too many Decatrons, and then the secondary options are like 2 monster things, which is something I try to avoid. But otherwise, like it looks pretty standard to what I like to play.
I like the Entra because it feels like the game getting more and more forms of either floating or disruption if you destroy their cards. So I like Entra as being a nice option to just bounce. Sometimes I will, playing against a Desiree, I will first Petrulia pop the sequence and then reborn the Decatron, copy Entra, and then bounce the Desiree so that they can't remove anything from my field.
I hear you. I don't dislike Entra. I just, for the level options for Feast, I just prefer a second Petrula. So if I can do
For sure.
Decatron, Petrula, Harmadic, like I'm not like crazy enough to go out of my way to play more Harmadics for that. But the Entra just doesn't really combo well level-wise with anything. So that's why I'm just not the biggest fan of it, but its effect is fine. All right, cool. So we're going to play a few games on the Yugioh Pro ladder, which means we could play against anything, including possibly things that haven't come out yet. So hopefully that not be the case. And if anything doesn't come up, we will come back to it at the end before we get started. Is that like a combo line we should probably go through first?
It really depends on the hand that you get.
Like this hand, not great, right?
Not great, but you can still play through stuff because Bonfire, Ghost, Snake Eye Ash, Search, Poplar,
Is Bonfire by itself bullish combo?
pretty much, yeah.
Okay, then maybe we should.
What you can do is through that hand, you search the OSS.
Let's just run through one hand real fast, just to give everybody an idea of what the play is with one Bonfire. So what do we grab? Ash or
Snake Eye Ash, yeah. Actually, sorry, that was totally. Oh, actually, no, that's fine. Snake Eye Ash, normal summon.
Or will we get what's the
Poplar here? Yeah. Sometimes you want to keep your normal summon for Decatron.
Think of them as like interchangeable choices. Either you use Poplar to get the Decatron or the Ash, which then you normal summon the Decatron, or you get the Ash to get the Poplar to special the Decatron.
Right. All right. So here you'll search OSS, make Anima with Poplar here.
Zones matter. Say something at some point.
All good. Yeah. Put that there. I like to try and keep the far right zone clear because that's the one zone that your opponent cannot interact with. So I like to either put my Lamberge there sometimes or a Decatron that I know is going to be staying on into my opponent's turn, or sometimes Desiree. It really just depends. But yeah, I try and play on the left side of the board as much as possible. And then once I have my first boss monster, I put in the far right zone. Here, we're going to get our first Decatron out with OSS, sending Poplar. And here, you will do Entra here. What's nice is you have the choice. If you're fearful of a hand trap, this is where you would send a Deviati and you can play for draw or other forms of disruption, imper. Once the Decatron is out, there's always lines where you can keep it on board to protect yourself. So from here, I would Ash and Decatron to Grave and summon out Oak. Activate Reborn Decatron.
Be like the reason everybody would play the deck. Summon Decatron like 2 or 3 times per turn.
Here, let's what do we want to send here? Let's send Saitsumas here. And from here, you're going to send Oak and Anima. And then from here, we make Moon and Fiend's Best line.
I'm playing it as pure as most people, so I'm a little iffy on what the Fiendsmith line is nowadays. So I assume we're bringing back Decatron and like Ash or Oak, right?
Exactly.
All right.
And then here I would send a Nunkus, or either Deviati or a Nunku. It doesn't really matter. It just depends on what form of disruption you think you're going to be playing against. Put a Nunku here because they could always impulse you, although they would have done that sooner. The reason that you send Deviati is either if you're fearful of Nib, or if you're fearful of them ashing your Banishment and Feast play.
So Requiem into Lacrima, right?
Exactly.
So Lacrima wasn't out when I was testing the engine, so.
It's such a good card. It basically guarantees that every single circumstance that you get out makes Desiree at least. So if you're not making evil, you still have like a very powerful form of disruption. Yes, for an Engraver. And then here you can activate Engraver just for an extra body. Shuffle Moon. You always want to try and keep the Requiem Engrave as long as possible. So here you'll make IP first with Engraver and Oak, and then IP and Lacrima for sequence.
You're concerned about, is this where we just have to get the made and engrave?
Yes.
Alrighty.
Sequence for evil, and then you'll shuffle back the Anunku and the Antra.
So it's done that, right? Are we going to be using Saitsumas to mill?
No, we're not. We don't play enough noise. We could have kept the Antra Engrave and shuffled the Saitsumas and just get an extra body in there, but I like having the follow-up option of Antra. So here you'll make Promethean Princess.
Using evil and sequence?
Exactly. Search Vanishment. Promethean Princess will Reborn Flamberge, preferably in defense position. Far left.
Whoops. I bet.
All good. And then, yeah. With Flamberge.
What was that IP you said?
Yeah.
All right.
And then we make Flood here. And then if you want to, you can summon the Sightsmith, but I would probably keep
Just doing a count on how many noise are here. Like, we didn't send back Inoku, was it summonable? And it seems as though it wouldn't have been. So,
If we sent the Sightsmith back in and kept the Yantra and banished it, we'd have the one extra.
so there are
yeah.
scenarios you can just force an extra negate on the board.
And then Banishment Search Feast. In this case, I would probably... Oh, man. What's the best hand trap in this format? I think it would be Imper.
Or get rid of.
To get rid of.
Yeah. Okay. Now, I was just thinking about the way the question was phrased. Like, what's the best hand trap? Like, Imperm. Oh, okay. No, it's the best one to get rid of.
Yeah.
All right.
Because we're going to be doing that with our Decatrons anyways.
I think that kind of answers the basic one card combo question.
Okay.
All right. So let's get into some games and actually see what happens. Lost the dice roll.
Pretty good hand for going second.
Yeah, it's a decent amount of hand traps. One brick.
Ooh. Yeah, we just once they do a specific rank, we'll go through, and then we'll just draw them.
Okay. I think this one was it sends one to grave. Then whatever they send to grave might search something. Because I know the goal is imperm, what's it called? Raider's Night, but it's not always.
And there's one, yeah, exactly, that protects it from target. I have not played against Raid Raptor in a couple of months, so my memory on where to disrupt it is a bit hazy.
It's all right. I think it'd be weird if you did know for sure. All right. So we draw now. All right. Yeah, the only thing I know for sure is you hit Raider's Wing if you can, but not always doable. If they attach it's a card called Raider's Wing when they go for Raider's Night. Well, that's unfortunate.
That's fine.
Well, on the plus side, we can't get rolled.
Yes, which will be very big because that bonfire is going to have to carry us.
Pretty good card to carry.
And I just wanted to answer one tiny thing about the deck. We are on 60 cards. We're not playing grass. Reason being, there is more combo engine than like beneficial milling. Like all of our mills are pretty controlled. So we don't really need grass, and there's just a higher risk of milling stuff that you need.
Like even my own deck that I play currently has grass in it, but it's often not milling, like more playable than drawing the cards would be. So everyone knows I'm on like a Unchained Chimera Infernoid deck.
It's a very cool version.
Yeah, but when I activate grass, you can only mill like 2-3 noids. The other thing I could hit is like Wanted and Original as a combo. I could hit the Engravers. I could hit like Blue Dog, Shavara, and Shayama. I can hit, but there's not enough to hit. Okay, they scoop. I guess they're. Well, the one problem, we're up against them. They're going to suffer from the hand a lot, so poorly.
Yep. And then we can do a 3 thrust. The 1 D barrier, we are probably going second, but they might build a board where we might need to survive past that. We'll put the thrust in, or the talent, sorry. The Duster and the 3 Venleys.
We got to cut quite a few cards.
12 cards. But this is very nice with this deck because it's very easy to cut down on stuff. So first we'll do the 2 Book of Eclipse. Actually, no, we'll keep those. We'll cut 2 Decatrons, one of each of the big noids, Sujet, both Vanishments and Feast. And that's already
4 more to go.
4 more to go. And at this point, it's really deciding.
I feel like Droplet's not useful here or Qualify because their big monsters will be unaffected if they're already out of the field.
That is true.
And then Called By, I think, would be less good Just
I
because.
think Call By is still good because they still have a play that kind of reborns.
Yeah.
I'll probably stack up on some hand drops too, so just want to keep that in rotation. Let's cut a Deception.
I'm just gonna fire it off. Yeah, that was my concern. Sometimes we take too long. They don't want to sit through it, which is fine. Maybe we'll win the dice roll and get to go first in another game.
Run it back.
Yeah. They're unwilling participants in these series, so they don't really feel the need to let us do all of our siding and stuff. All right, let's see what happens here. Darn it. I'll win the dice
It
roll.
will go first.
Or they could just play 10 pie.
Or just draw. Did they make us go first?
They did make us go first.
Oh, okay. Yep, we'll not activate anything here. So first we'll activate Tract. And
Flurry,
we'll
I guess.
start it. Yes. Why we did Tract there first, we can go into a Requiem and the Priest Adder. And then Lacrima from hand.
Oh, better is Summoner from hand.
They do not know how to play against us.
No, the first tournament I had versus with this stuff in it, people were misplaying that way. Lacrima from hand?
Reason being, you can still normal summon the Fool-Offs if you need the extra body. We are for sure not using it during their turn. So from here, let's do Fiendsmith Engraver. And shuffle back the Lurry. And let's make Sequence. Basically what I'm trying to get from them is possibly an Imperm or Impulse on the Sequence effect here. And we'll make Desiree. Right, and let's go for Wanted here. For which, we'll send the Fool-Loss.
Thinking we might send a sequence just so we could just attach it, but I guess this is more.
We'll use it for link climbing, yeah.
Gotcha.
Here, let's go for Deception. Deceptions and Petrulia, we are not going to get into Feast through this line. So might as well abuse the Azamina stuff as much as possible. So Hollowed into Arcilago and search original Stintful Spoil with. Here we can link into IP with the Witch and Moo Arcilago. Here we'll activate Hollowed, pull that back in. And we have not normal summon yet, correct? I would still keep I want to get Decatron into rotation over going for Ilia Sylvia. So I'm going to, we'll OSS here on the Sequence.
Ash for Decatron.
Think Ash. And then we'll search Decatron here and normals it.
Sequence.
Yes.
Call Decatron.
And we'll send Antra here. Because we think that they're on Tempai, I think that has the least amount of benefit of dealing with stuff. Ash, send Decatron. Go for Oak. Reborn the Decatron. My favorite response to summoning the second Decatron in the same turn is, oh, it's not once per turn.
Oh yeah, that's very common with almost all the cards. They're like, oh, you can summon that twice. Oh, you can use that twice.
Yeah. Here, let's go for Sidesmith. And then Oak here, sending Decatron. And go for Flamberge. We'll go Flamberge and IP into Promethean. Flamberge, bring back the Decatron. Can you put it in the far right zone, please?
Act anywhere, right?
Yeah. In defense. Yep. Here we'll do Decatron. We're going to send a Nunku here because I'm fearing either Raigeki or Lightning Storm. Here we'll Promethean Princess and put the Flamberge under Promethean defense. Should have actually put the Desiree in defense, but oh well. And here we'll do Desiree effect, negate the Promethean, and then we'll make a Raging Phoenix. Supposed to. Ash and Promethean.
Great. Would I put them in the back row with Lamber?
Yes, we'll be playing the IP there.
And no. I want to make sure I didn't miss something.
All good. The unfortunate thing is that Desiree is a level 9, so that prevents Noids from being summoned a level restriction. It sucks. We'll activate Wanted here to get a free draw. Hopefully something good. Let's put back the OSS because the Deception is going to set itself at end phase. Bonfire. Actually, that's great. That is amazing. What we can do with this is we'll activate Bonfire and we'll search Poplar. And we can now do a small Poplar line. Activate the effect. We'll search Planet here, or a Temple.
Like planet.
We'll activate it. And we'll set, or we'll place Snake Eyes Diabellstar from deck. We'll activate Snake Eyes Diabellstar. And we'll place Oak. Reason being is that there are some lines where you can reborn the Decatron a third time in the same turn. And from here, let's make a Muckracker.
These two, Lower and Snake Eye Diabellstar.
Exactly.
All right.
And then Snake Eye Diabellstar, we can put let's put Poplar back in zone. And here we go. That's our board.
Kind of mid. I'm just kidding. All right, ready?
And then Deception will activate in end phase.
So that'll let us get Slur late, right?
Next turn.
All right. All right. Best of luck, Duelist. Throwing after Imperm against our Requiem. Like, did anything? Well,
Oh boy. That's
Well-
fine, though. That's fine. Because here they get rid of Flamber. Oh, both fiends. That's cool. So here we'll activate the Desiree. And yep, we'll do that.
send Triggers to Pelea the Grave.
Exactly.
And do we want to summon anything from the back row or not yet?
Yes, let's bring out the IP. It's relatively safe because we don't control any dark monsters. I don't see another super poly target that could deal with that. And here, if they chain Cosmic, for example, Chimera Fusion. Oh, yeah, let's negate with Decatron.
So we can use Flamebird to bring back Oak and then Oak bring back Decatron.
Exactly.
Should we fire off Flamebird now?
No.
I guess not yet. At least until that's off the field.
Yeah.
So that's negated, that's banished. Mass Miranda's now in back row.
And here, let's use Flamberge.
I think they got a chance to do something.
Really?
Yeah. No, they shouldn't have. It was probably me just not pressing the button.
All good. So let's use Flamberge here. Bring back. And here, let's make Decatron with the Anunku send.
They
Reason
didn't
why
play
we-
anymore.
Reason why. Oh, and
It's all right. Just run through your play line. Your thought.
So reason why I go for Anunku there is we kind of don't want them to fusion summon again. They're on such low resources. They've already committed their normal. If we go for Anunku, it prevents from fusion summoning again. And if they threaten battle phase with the Gazelle over Decatron, we just make IP. We make SB with IP.
Gotcha.
Or banish it.
Let's see if we can possibly get a full match in, or maybe this might be the end of it. We'll see. All right. Well, between the test hand and that game, we got to see like two different types of boards, which is cool.
Scissors.
I always do scissors. I think it makes more sense. Hey, look, we opened the backup plan, and we're going first for some reason.
Not the best hand, I'll be honest. Let's do, Engraver is the only thing that we can do to start off. Our end board here is most likely going to just be Desiree and Feast, which is a pretty good end board. Go subtract. Or Lurie, discard Lurie. Oh no. Here we go for, man, it's not pretty.
Still doable, though.
Let's do Graver and Grave for Lurie. Go for Requiem for Sequence, or for Lacrima. That's fine. Basically, we're using Lacrima as an extra body for tribute.
Wait.
This case. So here, I would keep the Engraver on it. Please. Don't have to. I would keep it Engrave, honestly. Here, I think we just go for Feast. Reason why I'm not bringing the Snake Eyes Diabellstar.
We're just passing on this, right?
Yep. Sometimes fans are just like that. But
Would you
yeah,
shotgun or wait?
I would shotgun right now. I don't think we're on something. Actually, they made us go first. So if they ash, this is just pretty much a GG.
Generally, how getting ashed on feast is. It's almost always like game. Preference of zones for Decatrons.
Yes, yeah. Far right and center, and then Sijet will be in the middle column.
Far right and middle of them.
Okay, that's perfect. Both of them. I would do one of each here. At rotation.
Unexpected.
They're probably going to put for summoning, and then once they activate, we'll be banishing that. Yep,
I forget, is summoning at 1 or at 2?
it's at 1.
So one of each.
Yes. And I will assume they have not read this. Yes, we'll use it right away.
Read itself, play into call by, or try and play around like
Would tribute the Lacrima, because if they try and impermit, we just discard or tribute it off Sijet. And Lacrima will have the effect now to summon Let's banish. Negate and banish.
Fair. What should I tribute?
Do the Decatron that just triggered. And there we go.
All right. These are going really fast. You want one more?
Yeah, let's do one more. I was just going to say, if they have Sangan Kaiman there and try and summon something in the battle phase, what you would probably do in that case, they summon Chandra, they then go for Fadra.
Can't really Chandra and deal with the Decatron and against monster. But oh, wait, we already used it.
We already used it. So they go for either Chandra or Genroku. Probably Genroku first, and then Fadra. Fadra will reborn the... Fadra will reborn the Genroku, the synchro into Bident. When Bident uses its effect, they Bident to reborn one of her dragons. That's where we suggest to banish it. I have no idea what this does. Let's let them play, I think.
Okay. I know there's new Battle Wasp stuff coming, but I did request TCG competitive.
It is Rhoda legal. What they just added is legal.
Oh, okay.
Oh yeah, I have to do some reading. Let's see. I think that's a negate. Yep, go for it.
I don't really want to read. I almost didn't want to do the video because I didn't want to read art cards because I was a little behind on them. I'm supposed to like judge an OTS championship this weekend. Like first judging it. Oh. Yeah. All this time, every time they came up, I just played instead.
Oh. Goki Pole's scary.
It just adds Mothman, right? Or some vanilla.
Yeah, that card's very bad for us. Very bad.
Well, they threw it away.
Discarding. Perfect. Actually, they might search another inside. Can't remember.
This, I think it was flipped from the field to the graveyard.
I'm almost willing to save the Imperm for our turn and then just use it on one of their forms of disruption. They seem to have like a lot of gas, so I wouldn't mind trying to bait out some disruption.
We'll figure it out. It might be easier at this point to just read what's left on the board after everything. It's just too many parts to read. Normal summon by bouncing this back. Discard. Place return Battle Wasp or more special into your field. You can target one Battle Wasp monster. Less attack from your deck. This part is scary.
Yes.
Could we maybe imperm that?
So we're reading
tutor for anything.
Honestly. Actually, no. Let's save our Imperm.
I actually know what it does. With failures that want to hit it.
Yes. That is something. So right now with Infernoids, I'm desperately trying to get a top with it. I want to bring some competitive representation with the deck.
Like go-to, there's someone playing it. There's mostly on some Snake Eye builds, but I haven't been there since just the format changed.
I went to YCS Niagara, and with a pretty similar build to this, although I wasn't on the Fiendsmith stuff, I had the Dogmatica engine instead. I think the Fiendsmith engine is just so much better.
When you commit yourself to locking out of the extra deck early just to get the piece set up, it's just not like that great of a
Oh,
play.
but you just do that at the end of your turn.
Often, yeah, I don't know. It's like hard to have their plays in your deck sometimes.
They're doing things.
There's too many things. Like I want to stop everything. Like Gusto, Emerald thing.
We're going to start searching with that trap now.
Yeah, search any Chariot card.
Yeah.
That one brings one back, or synchros, or there's probably like a place to hit somewhere in the middle of all this. Just impossible to know where. I think it'd just be funny if we just get FDK'd out of nowhere. Like, and if you summon this Battle Wasp, burn your opponent for like 500 times the number of insects in the graveyard. Oh no.
I might. We might want to improve this. Just give me add one.
I don't see why this card's more broken than any other card so far.
Well, let's see what they can do.
The Simo special. That's right. I think the trap is just like pop 1 or 2 or something.
Yeah, it seems to pop a couple of cards, which should be fine. We don't really like. I think that given our hand, we can do some stuff that will keep us safe from that trap. Okay. What we're probably going to do is we're going to activate Wanted. We're going to search which will send a Nunku to grave. Which effect attempt to set OSS?
We try to pop that with the trap card. Because currently they get 1 pop. Oh, the best possible draw.
Let's see. Okay. So a lot of pops. What does the link monster do?
They remove a counter, especially on a level 4 or lower insect, which means it could do many things.
Oh yeah, let's negate that. Because I think they go into Vernituria line, which gets very annoying. Yep. I would send the Nunku over the Deviati because we can always surprise them with it. If they pop our board here, it doesn't really matter because the OSS will still search us what we need. Or actually here, I go for Decatron here. Yes, we go for Decatron. We're going to do Decatron, send Petrulia to try and pop a piece of back row, and then we're going to reborn it. Or not.
I guess or not is the right answer.
Let's Wanted draw first.
Put on broken 1-up. Instant fusion.
That'll help with the follow-up. So here I would most likely do Lacrima, activate, and send Engraver. Go for Requiem. Yes, chain to that.
Well, we won't have a monster bigger than theirs, so they can only summon 1 card.
Requiem. And then here it's deciding what's the best thing to get rid of. It will probably be the sync.
The other cards don't really do anything while negated. This card, we can force it, but then it just brings out a card we don't really know about.
We got rid of it. There we go. And then we can, yeah, let's do Engraver again.
We'll put back Engraver.
Yeah, let's put back Engraver. Just to see what we're going to summon out. This is one of the cases where having an imagination deck would be very nice, but
oh well. It's going to be foolish or something, right?
I think we just can feed from here.
And we played it out this far. We might as well at least see what the rest of the deck does. Then we can just go first. Sunflower. Does this bring back Sunflower? All right, negates monster effect. This could just bring it back again, though, right? Like, I think maybe we kill this. Or is this thing keep coming back?
I think it's the Mole Cricket that keeps.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cricket. All right, so thoughts on what to kill?
I think we have to go for the Sunflower, and in draw phase, we'll trigger punishment to try and survive.
From these red decky. So we have to deal with that too. No, it's going to bring it back. Okay. Yeah, I think we can concede here.
Yeah.
It looked like we could concede already. Just figured to see if there was anything else there. All right. That's because we're definitively going first.
So let's do the 3 thrust for the full losses. And then Dimensional Barrier. Actually, we can put both of them in.
EG?
Yeah. And we can put a Talent in. as well.
Pets. 3 more pets.
Let's take out the Book of Eclipses and 1 draw. And that should be. All
Yeah.
right.
You're going first. The first time on purpose. This hand.
This hand is so similar to the previous one.
All right. Yep. Thoughts?
I think it's Desiree Pass.
All right. So, Lacroix.
Exactly. Again, this is why Irma is so nice. It's like, it's a guaranteed, like,
Have you summon out of the deck first, or?
yes, always.
All right. I just
We need
use
the extra body.
Gotcha. Beansmith for
King Smith Engraver.
the back. Ooh, correctly was mad.
Let's really matter now. And then Infusion 7. Droplet is nice here.
Attack.
I would do attack here. Droplet can act as 2 forms of disruption. We'll equip sequence to Desiree. And then set for rest.
Inferred combo.
Exactly. So Droplet here
The
will...
main. All right.
That's fine.
Well, I guess we had one obvious play. I wonder what we should do.
Curve a killer move. A Droplet.
What?
Just right click here.
Okay. Wait, it gives us 2 negates for that?
It gives us a negate for every link rating.
Oh, I didn't realize it was for link rate.
Here, oh god, they have 2 now. Let's not do anything quite on
So
the
you would-
first.
I think they both happen simultaneously.
That's fine. We're still going to play under Droll here.
Roll. I would like to activate roll for the first here. No. Dang it.
They always have it.
Oh, man. I guess they just wanted it more.
Let's imperm this.
I think this helps. Negate you.
And then once they make a link play, we're going to send the Desiree. That way, we're going to also get a removal. Can you read?
What the burn goes for 200?
Yeah.
And that's for, that card's always dumb. It's just funny.
It's just a body.
Yeah. It messes with my brain.
And then, yeah, here we're going to Droplet and remove that.
Anything else? Sure. You return 1 spell. You gain an extra normal. Oh. Droplet.
Crazy that we're searching that much.
Hopefully we can't die because main phase 2. We don't really have a play in the graveyard. Oak by itself doesn't do anything.
It's going to be top deck wonder.
Well, any card which can stay face up, at least let's go get to Ash and then Ash into Poplar into OSS, Spectron, etc.
Yeah.
So there are some cards that are decent.
Oh, yeah. There are so many top deck potentials right here.
That is not one of them.
Nope, it is not. Well, this is awkward.
We can attack over this. Although,
Not great after.
not at all. I think we can safely.
Let's normal summon it. Let's see if they try an imperm. Or they do anything. Veiler.
Do we eat their monster?
Honestly, let's try it. Let's try and bait something.
Successfully, nothing happened. Okay, we tried. Let's see if they can do something remotely scary, and then we'll go back to the deck list. I didn't realize Desiree was up to the link rating. I thought it was a number of equipped, but I barely had to deal with it.
There's a new Link 3 called Agman, which is very powerful. Basically, you link Desiree and Sequence on.
Yep. Okay.
So you link off Sequence and Desiree, and once per turn, quick effect, target 1 light non-link fiend monster in your grave, special summon it, and if you do equip this card you control to that monster as an equip spell, and gains the following effects. Equip monster gains attack equal to the total link rating of the link monsters equipped to card. That alone gives Desiree 1800 more attack, which puts 5,600, and it gives it piercing.
And negate 3.
It can negate 3, but then you can equip sequence to it to give it an extra 1200. So it's at that point, it's 5 times 6 is 3,000. Yeah. Basically, it ends up being a Desiree that can negate 5 cards at the same time while being untargetable. And if you do remove it, you get a remove card.
I think I could safely scoop here. They're getting the Turia things going. Let's just go back to the deck list. Okay, any thoughts on anything that did or did not come up that are worth mentioning? Like, we obviously didn't get into Silvera.
Right. One thing, not playing Imagination is very much so based on personal preference. There are places where you really like to see it, and there are places where you really don't like to see it. That was a case where it could have been very nice in the game 1, I believe. Would it have resolved? Probably not. There are some people that might question why we're not running Tira. Honestly, this deck is more so for comboing and building a big board that cannot be broken. So Tira does offer some really nice board breaking potential, but the deck does it alone already, and the extra deck is way too tight. The last thing that I'd mention is the Muckracker spot. Very debatable. You can either play Nightmare Phoenix, you can play Hida. Recently, I've been considering cutting the Azamina package. It does technically add more starters, but it is a fairly interruptible package. There's a lot of stuff that can stop it. Ogre, Imperm, Valor, if you're not going for Sylvia immediately. You can even get Retaliating Seed, which is brutal. You do not get the Fusion Summon, and you lose both your spells, too. Both spells are banished. So there is consideration where we cut the Azamina package, give ourselves 2 more spaces in the extra deck, and 4 more spaces in the main deck where we can play more Disruption. Would you consider Crossout Designator in this? I don't think so. I don't like Crossout in decks for more than 45 cards. It feels like it doesn't come up or doesn't offer enough impact. And yeah, that's pretty much it. You can maybe add some more Tempai Hate, because that is a scary matchup, especially if we're dropping Shifter.
All right. Thoughts on this guy, the Agnum Day, or the Muckraker, maybe?
I think with the Azamina stuff, you would, if we're cutting the Azamina stuff, I would definitely consider it.
I guess we wrap this up. Thanks again, Jaeger. I appreciate you coming on and showing us how to play Noid, modern Noid.
Pleasure.
All right, everybody, make sure you check out the Infernoid Discord server. I will link below in the video description as well. If you have any thoughts, leave them in the comments, and we'll see y'all next time.
See ya.